The House prosecutors have stated over and over again that President Trump was perpetrating a big lie when he repeatedly claimed that the election was stolen from him and that he actually won the election by a landslide. Are the prosecutors right when they claim that Trump was telling a big lie, or in your judgment, did Trump actually win the election?
The House managers have up to 2.5 minutes.
As we all know, President Trump did lose the election by 7 million votes, 306 electoral votes. By the time of the January 6th attack, the courts, the Justice Department, all 50 states across the country had done, agreed that the votes were counted, the people had spoken, and it was time for the peaceful transfer of power, as our Constitution and the rule of law demands. 61 courts the president went to. That's fine, appropriate. He lost. He lost. He lost the election. He lost the court case. As Leader McConnell recognized the day after the electors certified the votes on December 14th, he said, quote, "Many millions of us had hoped that the presidential election would yield a different result. But our system of government has processes to determine who will be sworn in on January 20th. The Electoral College has spoken." Patriotism. Sometimes there is a reason to dispute an election. Sometimes the count is close. Sometimes we ask for a recount, go to courts. All of that's appropriate. I lost my first election. I stayed in bed for 3 days. We do what we need to do, and we move on. This was not that. Because when all of these people confirmed that Donald Trump had lost, when the courts, his Department of Justice, state officials, Congress, his vice president, were ready to commit to the peaceful transfer of power, Donald Trump was not ready. And so we are all here because he was not ready. Day after day, he told his supporters false, outlandish claims of why this election was rigged. Now, let's be clear. President Trump had absolutely no support of these claims, but that wasn't the point of what he was doing. He did it to make his supporters frustrated, to make them angry.
Time has expired. And counsel for the former president recognized for 2.5 minutes.
May I have the question read again and not have it count to my 2 minutes?
Of course, the clerk will read the question again.
The House prosecutors have stated over and over again that President Trump was perpetrating a big lie when he repeatedly claimed that the election was stolen from him and that he actually won the election by a landslide. Are the prosecutors right when they claim that Trump was telling a big lie, or in your judgment, did Trump actually win the election?
The counsel for the former president have 2.5 minutes.
My judgment? Who asked that? I did. My judgment's irrelevant in this proceeding. It absolutely is. What's supposed to happen here is the article of impeachment is supposed to be...
The Senate will be in order. The senators, under the rules, cannot challenge the content of the response. The council will continue.
May I have the question read again, please?
The House prosecutors have stated over and over again that President Trump was perpetrating a big lie when he repeatedly claimed that the election was stolen from him and that he actually won the election by a landslide. Are the prosecutors right when they claim that Trump was telling a big lie, or in your judgment, did Trump actually win the election?
In my judgment, it's irrelevant to the question before this body. What's relevant in this impeachment article is, were Mr. Trump's words insightful to the point of violence and riot? That's the charge. That's the question. And the answer is no. He did not have speech that was insightful to violence or riot. Now, what's important to understand here is the House managers have completely, from the beginning of this case to right now, done everything except answer that question. The question they brought before you, the question they want my client to be punished by. That's the questions that should be getting asked. And the answer is, he advocated for peaceful, patriotic protests. They're his words. The House managers have showed zero evidence that his words did anything else. Remember, all of the evidence is this was premeditated. The attack on the Capitol was pre-planned. It didn't have anything to do with Mr. Trump in any way, what he said on that day on January 6th at that ellipse. And that's the issue before this Senate. Now, on the issue of contesting elections and the results, the Democrats have a long history of just doing that. I hope everybody was able to see the video earlier today. Over and over again, it's been contested. When Mr. Trump was elected president, we were told that he was hijacked.
Council's 2.5 minutes has expired.